over to that point, let's get into the juiciness of the show here. We got surprise, disappointing, told you so team in the NFL as our week 2 recap here, and which also means that the draft of who's picking first, and we'll just go back and forth on this one. Who goes first? And I think I might change it up. Actually, I think I might get those buy one of those that pack of like mini helmets.
Okay.
And we shake it up and we each pick our favorite team or have our favorite teams, and whichever one I grab, that's who goes first.
Oh, that's fair.
So
that adds a little spice to it.
It does, and it's fitting because on our kitchen table, why would we ever eat there when we could just put mini helmets on it? So
and then
throwing
rank
it back to the college days.
Rank it, change it each week according to where the division rankings are.
Correct.
Cannot forget
without further ado, the first pick in episode 96 of the Three Guys Talking Ball podcast is me.
Oh, there we go.
So me, and then Grant, you're number 2. And I will start off with my surprise team. And you know what? I'm going to go down to the NFC South. I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
There you go.
Baker looks phenomenal. The defense, you never had any questions or doubts about a Todd Bowles coach defense. You had questions about Todd Bowles as the head coach. I think Byron Leftwich is gone. Dave Canales is in, who is the former quarterback coach for Russell Wilson. And since he's gotten away from Dave, Russell has regressed. And I think, Dave, you're seeing that same impact that he had on Russell on Baker. Mike Evans is playing like he is the best receiver in the NFL, like it's a contract year. And granted, the impressive one probably too, I guess you could say as a surprise team, could have been in the running for week 1 was the Bucs, but I'm going week 2. They are 2-0. I did not have them as 2-0. I wouldn't have been shocked if they were 0-2 or 1-1, but here they are, 2-0 in a very winnable NFC South.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and Dylan, you talk about the Bucs, and you lose Tom. Mike Evans is in a contract year. Chris Godwin's coming back from the second year after an ACL. The running game is a little suspect, but the biggest thing for their offense is their offensive line. They're keeping Baker upright, and that's what the death of them was last year. Donovan Smith and all those holding penalties, losing your 2 guards, and then Ryan Jensen with that knee injury to start the year last year. Through 2 games in, they're keeping Baker upright. He's not turning the ball over. Life is good down in Tampa Bay.
Yep, and got Cody Mauch playing well as well, former Bison.
No, that's a good pick because I'm with you. Coming into the year, when I saw this Tampa schedule, I thought they'd be 0-2. And with the Eagles coming up, you're sitting back like, they're 0-3. Baker's ride in the sun is done. He's going to be a college analyst next year on Fox, working with the Big Noon team. But he's 2-0, and life is good. The food tastes good, and the people are happy down there in Tampa.
And out of the Baker Mayfield Deshaun Watson trade, right now Baker's looking pretty good, coming out all right on it. I think it was a big risk by the Browns trying to go after, but Deshaun Watson as of now has not looked like he was in the 2020 season or 2019 season. And that's all really we got to say about that. We don't got to get into anything else as to why that might be, but he's probably not as relaxed as what he used to be. But let's go over to you, Grant, for your surprise team of week 2.
So, Dylan, I'm gonna change it up here a little bit. Calling a hot route on the fly. I could have gone with a surprise team, but throughout the year, if I feel like a unit, if one side of the football surprised me this week, I'm gonna give some love to them. And this week, we're gonna give some love to the Kansas City Chiefs defense for what they did down in Duval County on Saturday. The Chiefs, they got the win 17-9. No touchdowns allowed to, Trevor Lawrence, and I think what is going to be a very explosive Jacksonville offense this year. But as most of us know, those 9 points, 3 of those came off a Richie James muff punt, where everyone's watching that and they're thinking Jacksonville's going to get the ball. They're going to go down and score a touchdown. They They held the line. They held the Jags to a field goal. So realistically, the final score of that game could have been 17-6. But with that, they got to Lawrence, 4 sacks on the day. I don't care what anyone says, the talking heads in Kansas City. You can talk about depth on your roster all you want, blah, 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 blah. You need 1 through 53. Well, when you have Chris Jones, just give me 1 through 49 and have the last 4 players on your roster be people like me. So, long story short, pay that man.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely. You could see
you could see the
they
difference.
just had a little bit more juice, more energy to them too.
You could feel the difference on that team. They were, like you said, they were a little more loose. Guys like Karlaftis and Felix, like the rookie from Kansas State whose name I cannot pronounce, Wharton in the middle. You could just tell they were a little more comfortable. They were a little more free. So pay that man. And then also you're going up against a Jags team where sure their center and right guard both had ankle injuries, but in the NFL, if you're on the field, you're healthy, if you ask me. And then, like I said, 4 sacks on the day. And the one part of this defense that no one in the national media is going to talk about, but what I feel like could take them far this year, is their linebacking room. When you can go Nick Bolton, Willie Gay, Drew Tranquill, and Leo Chanel, it gives you opportunities to be so multiple on your defense. Like last week, there were some times where they were playing, instead of the 4-3, they were playing a 3-4, where you had Tranquill and Chanel on the outside and Willie Gay and Nick Bolton playing your Mike and your Will, and they're so fast and they're so athletic. You can play so many different games. Jacksonville had an opportunity for a great possible trick play where they're going to throw it back to Etienne in a screen play. Chanel ate that up, and Jacksonville lost 2 yards on that. So that linebacking room is going to be key this year, and that young secondary is playing lights out. And multiple times in the red zone, when Jacksonville got in the red zone after maybe a turnover the Chiefs offense had, they didn't panic, and they used the sideline as their friend. They said, hey, if it's Jacksonville player, you want to run in the back of the end zone, guess what? I'm just going to slowly push you out of bounds, so Trevor's got to put it in the spot. And when you got to go up and catch it, you don't have enough room to get your toe, both feet in bounds. It's been a long time coming for this defense can make up for the mistakes the offense made, but the Chiefs defense did that on Sunday, so I'm going to give them credit for my surprise team/unit of the week.